This week was the 9th episode of Series 10 of Doctor Who, and it was, of course, The Empress of Mars. This was written by Mark Gatiss, who wrote Series 9's Sleep No More. And there's actually something that said Sleep No More in this episode, but I'm trying to forget about Sleep No More. So the one thing that kind of worried me when I first got the synopsis of this was, of course, the Victorians on Mars. I felt that was like, how's that possible? That makes no sense. I didn't think that was a good idea. I felt it's just going to ruin the episode. But I was pleasantly surprised because it actually made sense why they were, and there was a reason why they were there. This group found an ice warrior who crashed on Earth, and they were helping that ice warrior get back to Mars. So at least it made a little bit of sense. Now, of course, the Doctor and Bill and Nardole all arrive on Mars to figure out what was that message they saw on the space station. I think it was NASA, maybe. And they basically saw God Save the Queen. So the Doctor had that big smile on him, like, this is going to be a fun adventure type look. So they basically go to the Red Planet after seeing that message. And when they get there, they kind of explore it. And when they're exploring it, Bill falls through a hole in the ground. And the Doctor sends Nardole over, but doesn't go very well because the TARDIS manually just sends it back to the university. So Nardole's like, oh no. And he has a way he gets back, and I'll talk about that at the very end of this review. So they basically, after the Doctor finds all them, the Doctor finds out that he finds an ice warrior who's walking toward him, and he says, halt! And of course that stops it, and they meet the whole group of Victorian soldiers who have a very good costume. I'm not gonna lie, their spacesuits are very detailed, and they very look like the times of Victorian England. So that was kind of cool. Now, what I will say is most of these soldiers are, as you guessed it, they're there to die. They're just there to die and basically shoot some stuff, and then they get turned into this, human ball. That's a really painful way to go. They're like, the Ice Warriors zap them, and they get turned into a human ball. Poor humans. But they were, But what's interesting is, though, the one human I wanted to see turned into a human ball, because I didn't want to see anyone turn into a human ball, was the person who was, of course, the big kind of human bad. He was the one who was just bad in this episode, and he, of course, did not get turned into one. He got shot instead by a deserter. So I guess it's, fair, I guess. The Ice Queen. Oh, this Ice Queen, her design, the design of herself, it's very Ice Warrior-like, but it's very new. It's a very fresh design on the Ice Warrior kind of look, and I really think it suits it. It looks like an Empress, and I like it. Now, of course, she was kind of in a tomb, so she was in a tomb, and, of course, one of the soldiers who was kind of just trying to look around and get stuff, he reactivated her, and that kind of started the whole events of this episode. That one person started this whole thing. There could have just been one Ice Warrior. But nope, there was now an army. And of course, he was the first one to go, by the way. Yeah. She was a very, very well-developed Ice Warrior, and she was very ruthless. She definitely knew how to charge the Ice Warriors and tell them what to do. She was very good in that leadership role. I wanted more from this Ice Warrior, the Ice Queen. I really wanted to see more of her, actually. I want another story with the Ice Warriors, with the Ice Queen, because I just think that's a really fresh idea with the Ice Warriors, and it gives something new to the Ice Warrior mythos. Of course, the Doctor is always being like, you got to get out of here. Bad things are going to happen. He was right, because, whole war with the Ice Warriors and humans is going to start soon. So he was right, between them. Luckily, in a way, even though they don't see it. So luckily, even though they don't really see it, the Doctor is a very key person to have with this kind of fighting going on, because he's going to save the day and make things from getting a little less worse, even though kind of everyone's going to die because, they are disrupting the Ice Warrior. Because and that's actually something I just thought about. It's a very interesting idea. Instead of the Ice Warriors invading the humans, I like the idea how the humans are invading the Ice Warriors, and this is the Ice Warriors' natural reaction to it. So it's a very kind of a new idea. I actually really liked it. So, overall, this was an amazing episode of Doctor Who. It felt very much like a classic episode of Doctor Who. It was kind of a classic adventure, like a very Troughton episode, or even John Pertwee, and I can even see maybe even Tom Baker in this episode. And it was just great. The pacing was perfect. I didn't really feel it dragging too much. It was very able to keep my attention, and I was like, oh my goodness, this is getting good. And I really, by the episode's end, I was like, I'm blown away. And it was also very suspenseful at times. There were some moments you're kind of like on your edge of your seat, and I like Doctor Who stories that are like that. Of course, the Ice Warriors, it was so good to have them back. And it was on their home planet, which was an awesome thing, because they're on Mars. They're Martians in a way, and I love seeing them kind of be on their planet. And the tombs of the Ice Warriors, which was very reminiscent of the tomb of the Cybermen. And you get to kind of see them come down the tombs. I like this story a lot, if you can't tell. I really want more Ice Warrior adventures after this. I'm not going to lie. This also episode did an amazing introduction to the Ice Queen. I think I kind of want more with the Ice Queen, like I said earlier in the review. So, there you go. There's my review of the, basically, Empress of Mars. It was an amazing story by Mark Gatiss. I think this might be one of my favorites, so might be... We got 3 more weeks, so I'm not going to say anything quite yet, but this might be my favorite episode, Series 10, just because I don't know, I just can't explain it. But I think I'll give this episode 9.5 out of 10. It was that good. Now, this little end part, I'm going to say, is a little spoilerish. Mostly because I did not expect them, and they were things that were not in press releases, so they came as a surprise. So I'm just going to let you guys know that. The first was... Missy was in this episode. That kind of took me off guard. I didn't expect Missy to be in this episode, and she had a very important part. Of course, like I said earlier, Nardal was in the TARDIS when it just magically disappeared, and basically he needed to get back to the Doctor so the Doctor can have his TARDIS, so he goes to the vault and asks Missy for her help. And that was great to see Missy, and it makes me know that the finale is getting closer and closer. I can't wait to see what happens in the finale. And also, a very surprise cameo from a very classic Doctor Who adventure, the Alpha Centurion. They made a cameo, and I was beyond excited just to hear them, and then see it. Oh, I did not expect that cameo. It was amazing. So there you go. There's my review of Empress of Mars. Tell me, guys, your thoughts in the comments below, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye, everyone.